So we're going to go ahead and turn on our red master switch on the side of the column. Wait for the screen to tell us what it's going to do. We're going to go ahead and it's starting to load the software. When you first take these out of the package and get them started for the first time, you'll see loading the green battery and then a black screen. What we need to do is open our cabinet. On the side of our gray box is a reset button. We're going to hold that reset button for about 5 seconds. We're going to go ahead and close our cabinet. You're going to get loading again, and when you get loading this time, you're actually going to get 3 dots after it. You'll see them. You're actually loading the software that we're going to run. So we're going to wait for this to load, and we'll set up our first lift. So we've pulled up our main operating screen here. From here, you're going to see 4 different icons. In the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see an owner's manual. Click there, it'll give you a complete owner's manual, even though you'll have 4 paper copies. Up in your top right-hand corner, you'll have some training videos. You can actually access your training videos. It'll go through everything I'm going through here if you ever need to access it. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, we also have Wi-Fi access. You don't need Wi-Fi to run your lifts, but it is a feature where you can go out and access anything on the internet as long as you have Wi-Fi in your shop. So what we're going to do now is we really want to get these lifts set up to run. So we're going to go to the top left icon that says lift program. We're going to hit that. That's going to take us to our main screen to set the lifts up. So from here you have a couple things. You have your frequency and channel, and what we want to do is we want to get all these lifts on the same frequency and the same channel. The worst thing you can do when setting these lifts up is turn them all on at the same time. You want to go to each lift individually, turn them on, set the frequency and channel as you go through the setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to change our frequency to 10-100. Once we have it, we're going to go ahead and hit our confirm button, letting them know what channel we want them to be on. From here, it's going to take us to the next screen that's going to ask us if we've been trained. We're going to accept that, and then it's going to ask us how many lifts we want to run in our sequence. So right now we're going to set up 4 lifts. We're going to go here and we're going to select normal mode because we're not using any accessories. It's going to take us to the next screen, which is going to show us the position of the vehicle. This is very important for using the lifts in paired and single mode as we go forward. We're at the front passenger side of the vehicle, so we're going to go ahead and select here. It's going to turn green and we're going to move on to our next lift. So when you get to your second lift, go ahead and flip your main power switch on the side. We're going to go back and we're going to slide our finger across to get our system check and get it started. Once your main screen comes up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that our frequency is on 10-100, the same frequency we started with. We're going to go ahead and confirm that. It's going to let us know that it's setting it up down here in our bottom box. And then you're not going to get all the screens you had on the last one. You're just going to go to the screen that's going to ask you where you're located out on the vehicle. We're at the passenger rear. We're going to select that location on the vehicle, and we're going to move on to lift number 3. Now we're at lift number 3. We're going to go ahead and flip our main power switch on. Slide our finger again. Wait for our main screen to come up. Once with our main screen, we're going to make sure we're on 10-100 for our frequency and our channel. We're going to go ahead and confirm. It's going to go ahead and let us know it's setting up lift number 3. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to select where we're at on the vehicle. We happen to be at the driver's rear. Select that and we'll move on to lift number 4. We're at lift number 4, our final lift. We're going to go ahead and turn on our main power switch. Slide to unlock. Wait for our system to get checked so we can get to our main screen. Once we're there, again, we're going to check to make sure that our frequency and channel are at 10-100. We're going to go ahead and confirm. It's going to let us know that we're setting up lift number 4. We're going to go ahead and select the last position on the vehicle here, which is going to put us at the driver's front. Once we select that, we're at our main screen and we'll be able to operate our lifts. So we're now at our main lift operating screen. This is where we're going to be able to raise and lower vehicles from. Let's go through the icons first that kind of tell you what's happening on the screen. Here, it shows you the vehicle. It'll tell you how many lifts are running. We happen to be running 4, and it shows the lift we're located at. It shows us our frequency and our channel that we're on. It shows us our battery power, just like a cell phone. It has a built-in weight and height gauge to let us know how much weight and how high we are off the ground. Over on this side we have a low battery signal that will light up when you're below battery. We have a park signal that'll let you know that the lift is in park and in lock. And then we have a stowed button that let us know that we're lowered all the way to the ground. So to go ahead and operate our lifts, we're gonna go ahead and hit the enable button, and we're gonna go ahead and hit the raise button. That'll start your lifts lifting, all four at one time. You always wanna make sure that you get the vehicle about 2 feet off the ground, take a walk around, and make sure that everything is lifting safely and all the wheels are engaged squarely. So we've walked around the vehicle, we've made sure that everything's lifting safely. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hit enable and raise again. We're gonna get our vehicle up to the working height that we wanna work on. And once we get it up to the working height, one of the most important things in lifting in safety is to make sure that we put the vehicle in park. So we've got the vehicle up to the height that we want to work on it at. We're gonna go ahead and hit the enable button again and hit park. And that's gonna actually physically lower our vehicle down into the locks. Now we're sitting in the lock. It's just the same as using a jack stand. So another added safety feature to the mobile columns is our lights here at the top of the column. You'll see a green light that's lit up now, and you'll see a yellow light. The green light is to let you know that the lock is physically pressed against the lock ladder. It does not mean the lift is in lock. You've got to hit the park button and lower the lift down into park to make it sit on a lock. This just ensures you that the lock is engaged to the ladder. The yellow light is there to let us know when we're lowering the lift. The only time the yellow light should be lit up is when the lift is in the lower position and you're actually lowering the vehicle. Other than that, the light should always be green. If you come out and your light is yellow and the lifts aren't in the lower position, then you know you have an issue. Call your service tech. So we're done doing the work on the vehicle. What we need to do now is we need to lower the vehicle to the ground. To get it out, you can see our only option is raise. We're gonna hit enable. We're gonna hit raise. That's gonna raise us up off our lock. What we like to do is hear 2 clicks as we're raising it up to make sure that all our locks have cleared. We can go ahead and hit lower, and we can lower our vehicle back to the ground. On occasions, there's going to be times when we either want to lift the front axle or maybe the rear axle of the vehicle, or possibly even lift a single wheel to use a jack stand to get access to that wheel. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to hit our enable button. We're going to pick out our single and pairs. We're going to go ahead and decide we're going to go ahead and put it in single mode here. From single mode, we're going to lift from only the column we're at. None of the other columns in this sequence are going to move. We're going to hit enable and raise. From here, we're going to be able to lift the vehicle 8 inches. When we get to that point, it's automatically going to stop. So at this point, no matter how long or how many times I hit that raise button, it will not let me go more than 8 inches. But we are out of sync now from side to side, 8 inches. To get everything back in sync, what we need to do is we need to hit the auto return button, and that will lower us back down to the same point we started at. In the other instance we were talking about, there's going to be times when we're going to want to raise just the front or the rear axle of the vehicle, maybe to put stands under, pull out, do wheel work. We're going to go ahead and hit enable. We're going to select our single and paired button again. We're going to go ahead and select paired. Now, this is only going to allow the lift directly across from it to run. That was why it was important in the first sequence when we set these up to make sure we were locating ourselves based on where we're at on the vehicle. So from here, same situation, we're going to hit enable and raise. This is going to allow the front 2 pair to raise. Again, it's going to lift 8 inches. When we get to that 8 inches, it's automatically going to stop. Once we're there, we can do our work, pull our lifts out, go ahead and complete our work. When we want to go back down to where we were at, we go ahead and hit able and auto return, and this will lower us back down to the same height we started at with the vehicle being perfectly level.